So yeah, I see that we are invading somebody else's memories for once.
Right? I feel like there's probably something we can read into this. Ah well, let's definitely not overthink this. All told, there's definitely a lot going on right now. And we're trying to work on a new morning routine to go along with it. Ah well, what do you think's the worst thing that could possibly happen right now?
Well, I mean, I wasn't quite sure what I was expecting, but that's actually not really all that high on the list.
Yeah, I guess that's the point. We've kind of evolved our perspective on certain matters lately. Yeah, like I said, there's a lot going on right now. Okay. One issue at a time, please. There's actually a much better reason than just equipment that he wants to wait until after exploring the new area. But, that's a CrossCode reason and not a Crossworlds one. That's a little bit of reading the script there. Don't worry, it'll be very obvious.
I'm just imagining Luke looking at all of this and being like, really? This is the neighbor I got?
Yeah, technically, well, not technically, Luke has never met Apollo, ever. Like, Leah didn't introduce that little variable into the first Scholar situation until, like, way after the split. So, Anyway, Luke was complaining about noise, so I thought that before doing this next bit, we better just make sure that he's gone for the day. There. That's the ambience addressed. By the way, CrossCode has really good ambient sound mixing. Like, I don't know how they do this. I don't know why they went to what I assume must have been a decent amount of effort. But the way that ambient sounds change as you move around the overworld is actually really impressive. I don't think it's literally surround mix, but it kind of feels that way sometimes. It's like... it's really good. Anyway, here's our new DLC equipment standard. Since we're at the post-endgame, we get adaptive equipment that scales to our level and it changes the base stats on each item. It does not change the modifiers, the buffs that they grant. It is literally, it only changes your attack, defense, health, and focus. Also, we can't get any of them yet, because they absolutely all require various crafting drops, either from the new overworld or from the final dungeon, or unique items from other DLC side quests that we also do not have. Frequently they require more than one of each of these things, so it's gonna be a while before we get our hands on this stuff.
I'll say, is that the sound of grinding that I hear on the side?
Oh, you have no idea. One thing we can get is they've added a new tier of generic equipment that you can buy from the shop. That is ascended, it does scale to your level, it is technically, level-wise, the best equipment we can get right now, except it's boring, and I don't care about it. I would frankly rather have my obscene crit build than just more stats.
I was gonna say, yeah, stats don't even really matter, all things considered.
Oh, I don't know. There's a place or two. Anyway, we've finally got the pass to explore what we are assured is the remainder of Rhombus Square that's been here this whole time, just beyond the barriers that we totally could have gotten around before. So today we're going to be exploring this. As I'm sure won't disappoint anybody, they've taken the time to build in a good few exploration puzzles into the new area, and a decent amount of content, and they've finally caused us to do one or two slightly more interesting things with the roads than they did before. Our party members still aren't really great at navigating the roads.
They almost made it.
They only slightly died. But I believe we've spoken before on the subject of which of our hit points is the one that matters. Yeah, let's not think about characters in the video game being alive. That sounds painful, let's not do that.
He kind of fucked up. Can you imagine if somebody did that?
It'd be silly. Why would anybody do that? There's no reason to. I guess I should note that our friends do actually all have dialogue for dying specifically on the road. I think they have one for each of the various ways that you can die to the environment, of which the road is technically a unique one. I strongly dislike these sequences. I feel like there's a little bit too much guessing for my taste involved in trying to jump between cars that are coming in the oncoming lane. Anyway, yeah, they die and respawn immediately, but yeah, dangerous world where you can just continually jump into oncoming traffic and live. I don't really know what to make of that comment. I'm pretty sure those guys are lore entities and not other players talking about stocks. Not that I don't believe that stocks still exist in this universe, but notionally, Crossworlds is supposed to be set in in an actual world, inhabited by actual people who have actual concerns. There's probably a stock market on Shadoon somehow. I don't know, I don't write the lore. But I could believe it. I would have been really impressed if the developers had ever thought to just do a fake out with environment puzzle stuff. Like, just have this cliff contraption kicking around and just have it not do anything. Just mind games the hell out of everyone. You could even have a couple of NPC players just like wandering around screaming about how this thing has to be a part of something and trying to find out what it is. Probably be hilarious. Or maybe they did do that and a few too many players got caught up in it and stopped being funny.
That seems like that would be the natural endpoint of that.
I can believe it.
People would complain about it not being real, and, well, you might as well put something there, right?
The treacherous world of player psychology. Anyway, the elevations here are a little bit weird, and there's a lot of things that look like they should work, but actually don't. If you pay very close attention to the dots and the shadows of the dots, you can see that all that stuff actually was a little bit below where we were standing. This all makes total sense when you just sit down and look at everything and game it out, but it sure can be confusing in the moment. We will deal with you later. But yeah, there's a good amount of navigation to be done here. They really did like hiding those chests around this place. I'm not really sure where this stuff fits in the grand difficulty progression of cross-world navigation puzzles. Like, there's some stuff here, it is involved, it requires a hell of a lot of reasoning about things. This little sequence in particular is, this had me stumped for a while, trying to figure out how to hit, specifically the left-hand one of those two blocks. Because it kind of looks like you should be able to do a double bounce. You're definitely not supposed to do that, by the way. But actually, no, you just have to bank it off the bridge.
Huh. Yeah, no, that should have gone off the second planter there.
Right? That's absolutely how it's supposed to work. Also, you're supposed to go upwards a little bit and walk around so that you can do another ricochet to hit the right hand of those two blocks. I am saddened to report that Emily has no passive dialogue for this thing being in our party.
Now that is a missed opportunity.
Once again, what the hell, developers? Oh well. New Home is quite insistent about adding a lot of pets. There are a lot of them lying around. In the main game, the only way that you get pets is by buying them in the arena shop, which is probably because pets were only added after the main launch of the game. So there's not a lot of places they could have been put. New Home remedies this, of course. Nani? This quest is kind of a weird one in context.
The track's punishment for abandoning a challenge of making war machines that cause vibrations.
Yeah, I don't even know what to make of that.
I just want to make sure that is the scenario we're laying out here.
That is the scenario. But believe it or not, that's not why I think this side quest is weird. This side quest is weird because A, it is the only side quest in Rhombus Square that isn't by way of a backer, and also it's... You might recall we've been finding these tremor engines kicking around everywhere for, you know, the entire previous duration of the game. Like, we can make this thing right now because we've collected enough of them. But, the groundwork for this has been down for a good while. But they just never added the resolution. I don't know what's up with that. Anyway, if you need it, she will tell you about, roughly, where the 4 tremor engines can be found, but we were a good little completionist gamer, and we opened every single chest already.
I mean, I guess that's better than the alternative, which is, oh, by the way, all of those areas that you thought you cleaned out, we actually just added 4 more chests out there. Go find them.
Yeah. New Home does not add any trophies or change any existing stats, so like there is not a single trophy that we can get or that we can miss in this thing. And it is a little bit weird because there is exactly one instance, maybe 2, I can't quite clearly remember. There's definitely one that I can remember where they added a chest to a previous screen. And the chest tracking stats do not reflect this at all. So that's a little bit weird. Also, every other chest that is added in New Home is in an area or in a screen in an area that is also added in New Home, so they all get tracked properly. But there's one in South Arch in Rhombus Square, we are going to see it, that just... the numbers just don't acknowledge it, ever. And that's kind of weird, right? There is actually one other thing which is much worse, in fact, which is one of the other little incidental things in New Home. It's not going to come up for a while, we are eventually going to see it come up, but we cannot ever return to Vermilion Wasteland, where there are some chests that we need. In the main game, before you install a New Home, you can replay Chapter 10 as often as you want. And that, of course, does include a return to Vermilion Wasteland, so you can go and get those chests, so technically they are not missable. But once you start on New Home, there are some chests in Vermilion Wasteland that get permanently locked out, so you can then miss the chest collecting achievement. I'm sorry, I briefly lost my train of thought there.
I was gonna say, I think it's bold of them to assume that one of these people are winning.
I don't think there are any winners here.
There are most certainly only losers in that contest.
Here we are once again trying to address the PvP class meta. I don't understand it at all, but I guess everyone at Endgame loves being a Spheromancer. Here's a bold new addition. In New Home, we get a global quest board. Literally every single quest in the game is listed on that. Also, on the console version, if you go over to the completed tab on that global quest board, you will crash the game. So don't do that. Also, something weird has happened to the tables in here. Oh no.
But why?
What have we done?
Where is Apollo when we actually need him to bring down the hammer of justice on these miscreants?
Nowhere. Nowhere to be seen. I like the fact that the NPCs in the area don't react to the tables being moved, but there's also the attendants there who seem to, like, they do notice the tables being moved and are asking them to move them back. I don't know what exactly is the division of powerful AI here. Much to think about as usual. They do love raising their questions. But yeah, Global Quest Hub was a tiny bit overdue. Now that I think about it, I don't know whether it also tracks those odd little quests that are technically secret and not part of the factions. I mean, they show up on the completed list, because why wouldn't they? But what I don't know is that whether, like, for example, the Mushroom Kingdom questline will show up there if you haven't started it yet. Crossworld's empty exhale. Probably to be expected. Does kind of make us think a little bit more about how technically the kind of capital C content in Crossworlds is a tiny bit thin, but there seems to be this entire rich ecosystem of cosmetics and optional stuff. And yet we, the player of this game, never get to partake in any of it. And that's both very good and very bad. And I don't know what to make of the sum total of it. Maybe this too is that writing thing.
I mean, I'm also imagining this game... But... okay.
I'm sorry, are you distracted by something?
Well, this is sure a backer.
Indeed. But, you were saying?
I don't know, I'm just kind of imagining... Like, even like, a fake microtransaction hell that this could have been. Like, how that would work.
I feel like you could have an entirely informed fake microtransaction hell in a video game. It could be done. At least you could do some jokes about it. Off the top of my head, I remember specifically Lair of the Clockwork God had a fake in-game microtransaction store that was actually required that you mess with it to solve some of the in-game puzzles. That was a good video game. I recommend it.
I'm just trying to decide how close how close could you get it without actually making a shitty microtransaction hell thing.
Well, we can have Sergey doing stuff off camera to actually get real money for us, or like you can put together whatever fake explanation you want for why he has so much or so little real money to spend on stuff. Like, they gave us earlier the little dialogue about the Arena Custom Cup toolset and how we can't have it. They could just as easily have given us some other random things that we can have. Anyway, this is that one chest that I was talking about. This is a screen that we've already cleared out before, and that is chest number 9 out of 8 in Rhombus Square. Right, that's the other thing. New Home adds several chests to Rhombus Square, as you've been seeing, but does not increase the chest count whenever you check the chests in Rhombus Square, so every time you look at the map it's going to say 8 out of 8, even though we're a ways beyond that. It's real weird, especially if you warp into South Arch and you see that chest, and you're like, wait, hang on, the map says I got everything. It's hacky. I don't like it. It turns out not to matter. This was an excellent thing to not care about from a pragmatic perspective, but Anyway, this is a fun one. Not least because we've got less screen in which to see oncoming cars oncoming.
Yeah, this feels like this could have done with like a little F-Zero type indicator that shows you when a car is about to come from off screen.
Maybe there's a pattern to it that I just haven't noticed. Oh, here we go again. Ah well. Anyway, this is of course extremely optional. It has no bearing on anything except this little extra lore fragment. Note incidentally that these have dates on them. The game's pretty coy about dates in the real world. But we do learn that whatever the hell that was is logged at the year 3400 relative ACF standard, ACF being the Accord of Colony Founders, which is what I guess passes for the galactic government. What relation the relative ACS calendar has to the year Anno Domini is up for speculation, but we might as well assume that they are equivalent. I love like how we just decided to start saying CE and BCE instead of BC and AD. So yeah, those guys are totally talking about Captain Jet, former VRP dueling champ. Little details. Also might be a very slight subtweet of game companies hiring people who play their games from their games, and how that can sometimes go in a way. I feel like they dare not comment in too greater detail on that subject. Anyway, that's it. We've done a little circuit around the arena, basically. There's one other area. This is the place that will eventually lead to our new overworld. It wasn't originally part of our circuit, but I had to go here at some point. There's actually surprisingly little here. there is yet another optional area. Well, I say optional area, it's not part of the game, we're never going up there. I just love that they're still doing this. It has to be a joke. It's exactly what I would do. Emily informs us the Skyrail station has been finished, which kind of implies that she's been here while it was still under construction. Which...
I mean, little fucked up that she would go to the beach without us, but you know, whatever, I guess.
I mean, maybe it happened while we were offline? Like, there was a whole bunch of time. So maybe Emily somehow got the full Rhombus Square pass properly, however the hell that works, and it was only Leah and Luke who got given it by Sergei. I don't know, the Rhombus pass is really weird. There is no framing of it that makes any goddamn sense.
I'm sorry, are you complaining about getting wet while you are standing in the ocean? Is that what you're doing there, friend?
I wonder what the actual limitations are of instant matter avatars standing in a small amount of water but getting water splashed on them. Like, we had that experiment from the guys on the MS Solar. Like, I wonder how much you can splash around in shallow water as an avatar before things start going wrong. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin with this. I guess we should note that there's more than one guy who's walking in the middle of that group. So I don't know why it's only the one guy they have a problem with. But yeah, I mean, it's a public gathering spot. In an MMO, you're gonna get this kind of thing happening. At least the guys on the roof with the chest are pretty aware about why players keep interrupting them up there. Idly, I wonder if Crossworld supports essentially instanced gathering spots.
I mean, it does instance dungeons. I find it hard to believe that they could not do instance other things.
Probably a microtransaction perk.
Oh lord, it absolutely is. For just the low price of 1,500 credits, you too can get 30 minutes of uninterrupted time from other players.
Very valuable thing to sell. Anyway, that's it. That's the whole city. Next time, we're gonna do side quests.